Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So Devin Haney, now the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. The first full belt era undisputed lightweight champion of the world. The youngest undisputed lightweight champion of the world at age 23. Might be the youngest undisputed champion, period, of all time. I could be wrong on that. Fact check me. You know, I believe Muhammad Ali became undisputed when he beat Sonny Liston. I think he was like 22, 23. You know what I'm saying? You can fact check me on that, but Devin Haney accomplished some legendary shit, man. Some Hall of Fame worthy type shit. Name in the record books forever. Name etched in stone forever. You can never take this away. It don't matter what happened as his career continues to progress. Don't matter what happened. You can never take this away. You dig what I'm saying? And again, I just want to put emphasis on the fact that this man did this at age 23. He's already 28-0. Building up a nice little resume for himself. Defeated Gamboa. Defeated Jorge Linares. Defeated Jojo Diaz. Defeated George Kambosos. And you just look at the way he carries himself as a champion, his pedigree, who he came up around, the talent, the tutelage, the knowledge, the wisdom that helped cultivate Devin Haney as we know today. The boxer, the skillful master boxer. Just a wonderful display of the sweet science that we see every time Devin Haney graces the boxing ring. It's a beautiful thing to see what Devin Haney has built for himself at age 23. If he continues on like this, man, this dude could end up being, I'm not saying he's going to be undefeated. I ain't saying he's going to retire undefeated. Everybody's not Floyd Mayweather. You know, that's very rare for a guy to fight tip-top competition, fight after fight after fight after fight, and you have 50 plus fights and you retire undefeated. That's rare as fuck. But Devin Haney could very well be undefeated for a long time. And he can get, he can fuck around. And if he continues to take care of himself, man, and, stay a class act, stay a gym rat, stay focused on his craft, you know what I'm saying? Continue to believe in himself like he did, taking that terrible deal versus George Kambosos, putting it all on the line, not listening to the naysayers and the detractors telling you just because you don't got power, you can't do this, or just because the odds against you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? As long as he continues to carry himself the way he has been, Devin Haney will continue to perform at an elite level on the biggest stages in boxing. And this kid could easily go on to win 50 fights, maybe win 60 fights. You know what I'm saying? He can, because Devin Haney's style carries on as you get older. You know what I'm saying? He don't rely on power. He relies on fundamental boxing ability, skills, techniques. Yes, he has fast hands. He has some athleticism, but everything he do is not revolving around quick twitch muscles. It ain't revolving around blazing, unbelievable hand speed. It's not revolving around unbelievable, otherworldly footwork. All those things that I'm naming, he got, but he's not dependent upon it to that extent. So as he continues to mature, and I think he'll get stronger. I think by the time he's 27, 28, 29, I think he'll be a lot stronger. He'll be hitting harder. He might not never be no KO artist, But I think he'll be hitting harder. He'll become more physically strong. He'll just become just a more sturdy guy in that ring. But all of those skills and fundamentals are only gonna get sharper and get better. His boxing mind, his ring IQ is only gonna continue to grow. So I just wanted to give Devin Haney his flowers, man, and just talk about the potential of Devin Haney and what I see him doing, for years to come in his career. What's next for Devin Haney? Now, we all know that he signed a deal with top-ranked ESPN. The deal did include a rematch clause had George Kambosos taken an L, which indeed he did. Like I told you, motherfuckers, he would. Because, I ain't trying to shit on George Kambosos, but, if I did decide to shit on him, he deserved it. But he was a class act after the fight. Walked into the locker room with Devin Haney there, man, and he ain't run and tuck his tail. He gave a post-fight interview. He did the post-fight press conference. Then he went in there and chopped it up with them bars, man. George Kambosos, he stood on his shit like a grown-ass man after the fight, so I got to respect that. A lot of these motherfuckers take an L, you know what I'm saying, and you don't hear from them no more. There is a rematch that's scheduled to happen. Now, here's my theory, and I mentioned this before. George Kambosos is slated to make, I think he made, and I don't know how true this is, but from what I've been told and what I've been reading and seeing around in the news is that George Kambosos he was guaranteed a $10 million payday in that fight versus Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Now, it wasn't a pay-per-view fight. The only way I can see them justifying paying George Kambosos $10 million is because you don't have big events like that in Australia for boxing very often. So it was a good turnout. You had 40 to 50,000 people out there. I don't know what the tickets was like, but I know they probably taxed them motherfuckers in there, for them tickets. That's the only way I can see you justifying paying him $10 million. The gate had to do crazy numbers. You feel what I'm saying? So you can make that money back and you can pay George Kambosos and you can pay Devin Haney his $2.8 million, right? But a rematch though, after those Australian people seeing George Kambosos get his ass beat from pillar to post, get outclassed, get totally undressed and disarmed and embarrassed. After them people seeing that, see on the first go around, you got this undefeated guy, George Kambosos, who even motherfuckers in Australia didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even know who the fuck George Kambosos was for real. But he go out there, he beat Teofimo Lopez, he builds some interest for himself. Now he puts himself in a position to have a hometown fight or, a countryside fight for, a undisputed, world championship, right? And the first time around, you can make the people believe that this dude is some type of Spartan. He's an emperor. He's a, Australian monster, and he's all these things, giving the people something to believe in. You feel me? But now that these people know, these people know the truth, you can't sell that to them no second time. So therefore, how you gonna justify paying George Kambosos $10 million, let alone paying George Kambosos $1 million? It's the way Devin Haney beat George Kambosos. He beat him so bad, it was a shutout, pretty much. He beat him so bad to where it's like, we know that Devin Haney is levels above you. We know that you are just simply not on this man's level. There was no controversy. There was at no point in that fight was Devin Haney in trouble or in any jeopardy of losing that fight. It was so clear cut. It couldn't be any more clear. I think a knockout, a first round knockout would have, if Devin Haney knocked Kambosos out in the first round, a rematch would make sense because people can be like, oh, he landed a lucky punch. Oh, we didn't even, what would have happened if the fight went more rounds? I want to see a rematch. The people would probably even demand, they would probably even want us, they would probably be anticipating a rematch. But the fight went 12 rounds and Devin Haney won damn near every single one of them. I struggled to give George Kambosos a round, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So with him winning every round, it was so decisive. It's like, in my opinion, I'd rather get knocked out in the first round than to go 12 and just get completely undressed. So that's my point. These people, how can you justify financially paying Kambosos for a rematch? How you gonna make your money back? So here's my theory. There won't be a rematch. The people don't want to see it. Those people over there in Australia, they don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. It's going to be the same. And it'd probably be even worse. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see a George Kambosos and Devin Haney rematch. So what's next? I think Top Rank, Bob Arum, they're going to try to make a play to get that overdue Haney versus Lomachenko fight. The fight that we should have got the whole time if Lomachenko didn't duck Devin Haney. If Lomachenko can clear up this situation that he got back in the Ukraine and, get back over here and fight Devin Haney for Undisputed, which is going to be another fight that I favor Devin Haney. I've always favored Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I just think it's a bad style matchup for Lomachenko. I think he's going to struggle to get on the inside. Even though Loma is one of the best fighters in the world at crashing the pocket, I think, Devin Haney's length and his jab is just going to be too much. Lomachenko going to have to get a knockout. You know what I'm saying? Or he's going to have to hurt Devin Haney real bad. I think Devin Haney will be able to take Lomachenko's shots if he do land. And I think he will land some in that fight. That's just a fight stylistically that I favor Devin Haney. I'm going to just be honest with you. So, but I think that's a fight that Bob Arum won't. And I think that's a fight that makes sense for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and whoop Lomachenko ass. And, we already know the dude ducked you. Everybody know he didn't want no smoke. Everybody know Bob Arum didn't want to put Loma in there with Devin Haney unless Devin Haney was signed to Top Rank. That's why Bob Arum been trying to sign Devin Haney for years. But he didn't want to put Loma in there with Devin Haney and risk those belts because he knew Devin Haney was going to run off with them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is going to happen next. I would love to see Devin Haney versus Tank Davis, but Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather, they have made it crystal clear that they do not want nothing to do with Devin Haney, period. Leonard Ellaby said, I'm not saying Tank Davis is scared. I think Tank Davis will fight any of these dudes. But his handlers don't want to put him in there with Devin Haney. And they got all type of reasons, but I don't give a fuck what the reason is. The fact remains is that Leonard Ellaby said that fight ain't gonna sell. He said it ain't a good fight. He just said it ain't, that they not interested. Floyd Mayweather said this like 2 years ago. They just simply not interested in that fight. For whatever reason. Call it what you want. But that's the fight that I would love to see. Tank Davis came out himself in an interview with Brian Custer and said he want Devin Haney next if he beats Kambosos, which he did. I would love to see Tank Davis push hard for that fight. And that's a fight that I favor Tank Davis in. That's the funny thing. That's a fight that I would love for Tank Davis to push real hard for, because imagine Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney for Undisputed pay-per-view, all the marbles, incredible. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. What's next? Of course, Devin Haney doing business with Top Rank now. You got Shakur Stevenson over there. I want to see, me personally, I want to see Shakur take care of 130, get all the belts. But if he decides, hey, I want to move on up, Devin Haney is there for 135. Another thing is, how long will Devin Haney stay at 135? Will he stay and defend all the titles once or twice? Will he go up to 140? All the money is at 135. So, and he got all the belts there. So those are bargaining chips. You know what I'm saying? Will you give all that up? That's, these are questions that need to be answered. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. What do you think is next for Devin Haney? Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.